Hello, beautiful souls. Danny Moore here, your spiritual goddess. Today we're doing things a little bit different. I'm gonna have Derrick join me today. This is the beginning of the Spiritual Goddess podcast. So I'm gonna start sharing my video while you guys hop in and please say hello. And today we're gonna be talking all about life after loss. And so Derrick is going to be sharing with us today a few things from his expertise and his experience. And so make sure that you get some coffee, or maybe if you're eating lunch, you can join us. I'm just going to wait for him to hop in so I can bring him on the video. But today, like I said, this is the start of the Spiritual Goddess podcast. This is our first episode, so I'm so excited to be here. Hi, Tina. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to share this video really quick. You guys hang on tight. I have posted the link of Derrick's page, so that's how you can connect with him. And so let me just go here really quick on my page and share this away. Awesome. Happy hump day, though. It is hump day. Woohoo. Okay, here we are. Let me see. Share video. Now my internet doesn't want to work over here on my phone. Hi, Julie. Good to see you, girl. Happy birthday to your little boy. Today's Julie's son's birthday. How old is he today? Okay, let me see. Come join us on the page. I always have to do that because then people think that wherever they're seeing the live broadcast, that's where it's happening. And so I'm like, no, we're right here on the page. So come to the page. Okay, so Darren should be in anytime soon. So we're just going to wait for him and we can chit chat for a little bit. And tell me how your day is going so far. Hey, Barbara, good to see you, girl. Thanks for being here. I'm just sharing this video away while we wait for Mr. Derrick to make his entrance. I haven't done this in a while. It's been a while since I brought somebody else into my live broadcast. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous. Can you tell? So I'm like, everything is going to work out fine. Because you know how it is. Sometimes the internet doesn't want to work with us. And it's like, come on now. Like, can't do this. So we're keeping it positive. Okay, video has been shared. And then let's see. All right, cool. So today we're talking about life after loss with Derrick. So we're just waiting for Derrick to hop in, and then I'm gonna bring him on the screen so we can talk to him. I know that a lot of us have dealt with this. A lot of us have lost someone, and a lot of us have had a hard time perhaps healing and just dealing with the feelings that comes with losing somebody that we love. So, you know, I'm not an expert on this topic, obviously, but Derrick is. So he is going to be on talking all about it. And if you guys have any questions while we're on, please ask any questions that you have once he comes live and we can all talk together. Hello, Tammy. Good to have you here. So, you know, like I said, if you feel like asking some questions once Derrick starts talking and sharing his journey with this, then please do. Like I said, it's a lot of us have dealt with that, and it has been very difficult. I've known friends who have had to deal with this, and it has been very difficult. I've seen it from completely depressed to not having or not showing like any emotions because they're just in shock. And you know, I've seen it before, and then I see people who for some reason just handle it. You know, they're struggling internally, but they handle it in a way that it's like you know, like they made peace with it from the beginning. And it's something that I admire that. I have a friend, in fact, who did. And, you know, the struggle was really real. Okay, there you are, Derrick. I'm going to bring you in. Okay, just let me know whenever you're ready. And so whenever she lost her loved one, it was very difficult for her. It was something that she dealt with it internally, so she wasn't really showing it out there much to people, because I don't know, everybody deals with things differently. So, but I told her, I said, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I will be completely, I think I'll lose my mind. But you know, like I said, it wasn't that she was not dealing with it, or I think she was just in shock. And so there was a lot of sorrow or just crying. Remember us being together, sitting, trying to do a workout, and then she just couldn't do the workout. She had to step outside because something triggered her, and there she was. You know, I mean, if you've lost a baby or something before, you know how that is. It just kind of comes and goes, and it's like one of those things that you could be just sitting here and then suddenly you just start bawling. So, you know, feel free to share your experiences if you lost a loved one. Like, how was that? How did that impact you? All right, cool. Let me bring you up. Let me see. Okay. Maybe like this. Okay. So I don't see you. Allow viewers to request. Can you like request to be live? Is there a way that you can do that? Because I see your name. Let me see this right here. Things change so much that it's like, here we go. Choose how to go live. No, that's adding me like a filter. And then, I don't know, can you request to go live, Derrick? Because I see you, but I cannot add you for some reason. So let me know. There we go. Perfect. Approve. So Derrick is coming on live, so give us a minute to get. So if you have had any experiences, do share that with us. And like I said, if you have any questions for Derrick at some point, then feel free to ask whatever you feel like asking, because I'm sure he'll have some good answers for you. Hi, Monica. Good to see you. And it's adding, so we're just waiting. Magical Facebook, work for us. The moment of truth. It says it's adding, but it's not adding you. Silence. There it is, connecting. Yes, we're making progress. Okay, there you are. Hi, friend.
Back me up a bit, but I do see me. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi, I can see you. Let me see if I can
Awesome.
hear you a little better.
Okay, we'll just give it like a second or two so it can kind of get adjusted.
Yeah, let me just adjust a couple things here.
Totally.
Adjust down so that I can hopefully see you better.
Okay.
See me better.
Do you hear me okay?
Let's see here. Okay, so
There you are.
so there you are.
Can you see me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Come on. The wonders of technology when you're using your tablet.
I hear you. No, trust me. I've had my moments where it's like, oh, now my battery's dying, or oh, it just fell off, or man, the light is not working right. Yep, I've dealt with all of that. So I'm really happy that you're here to do this with me. This is something new, like I was telling you on the phone. But I think that doing this for other people, it can be beneficial. Not only, you know, we talk about spirituality all the time, but then there's other things that I want to discuss. And I told you that over the phone. It's like, I don't always want to go live and do readings. I want to bring other things to people. So definitely for me, this is a new phase in my spiritual career. But I'm going to let you take over and just tell us a little bit about yourself, Derrick, because there's people that don't know you. So it's all yours.
Oh, amazing. People don't know me. So hi, my name's Derrick Kearney, and actually it's under Derrick R. Kearney because I found that it's just a lot easier to use the middle initial to distinguish between other Derrick Kearneys, and you'd be surprised to know how many there are in the world.
Wow.
Right now, shout out to my boy DJ Apollo, one of the best Derrick Kearneys in the world. brother from another mother, but yes, there's a lot of us. So, if you look me up, Derrick R. Kearney is what I'll be found on Facebook. But yeah, a little bit about me. I was born in New Jersey, grew up in small town Palaca, Florida, moved there at age 5. And, it was a big transition just between, the two places, kind of Sesame Street and then going to, I don't know, an episode of Hee Haw. Probably,
That's that's
yeah,
kind of how I feel moving from Miami to
uh-huh.
Texas. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Where am I?
Like,
It was.
where did you just drop me off at? It's something that I saw at 5. And actually, just a little bit, and this will kind of tie in, obviously with the story here. Before that, my dad had actually passed in a car accident when I was 1. So,
Okay.
the subject of loss is just something that, I've been kind of around and also recovering from that, be it death, be it, whatever it is that happens. There's always a loss that we, if you want to look at it that way, that we recover from. And it's something that we're with for life.
Right.
And really, I guess, one thing really with that is I learned at a young age that a lot of this, we, I guess, in a sense, lose the person or the thing physically with us, whatever it may be. But, in a sense, especially with spirituality, we don't lose them.
Right.
We instead, they're still with us. So even with that said, okay, yeah, my dad passed at 1. I've always kind of felt, his spirit kind of with me and, just something that I've kind of carried with me, throughout the years. But, yeah, I moved to Florida, small town Florida at 5. Went through school there, went through college in Jacksonville, Florida, and, spent a good 11 years there. And then in 2006, had the opportunity to move to St. Petersburg to work for a TV station. And, hey, great, let's check it out. So I've actually been down in St. Petersburg since. And I've just been kind of on this sort of journey since coming here. And, I'm sure that it's a journey that, in a sense, I've been on my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you start these things, just when do you actually kind of realize that you're on the journey? So, it was just something that while in St. Pete, I kind of realized, hey, I am sort of on this journey, this mission, kind of to gather information as much as humanly possible. And, in a sense, if I need to bring it back to, and bring it back to my tribe, bring it back to my people, great. So that's what I've just been kind of doing, and it's pretty much has just exploded in my life as far as different things. And, even through the good and bad, I've been able to kind of take this journey and ride through it. So.
Right. Okay. And that's really what's important about it, because the journey, it's not an easy journey. It's not for anybody. I told you yesterday on the phone, I felt like I wanted to bail out from this because I've been dealing with my own emotional issues, and it's like that is my struggle, and a lot of people know that. It's like, I can be fully vibrant online and coming on and doing live readings, and then it's like I just want to hide under a rock the following week. So I'm like, but I said no, I'm gonna push through this because there's a purpose here, and so we're gonna get this done. So let me ask you this: when your father passed away, first of all, how old were you, and how did that impacted your life? Like, what was like those first feelings that you had, from losing your father?
Well, I was actually 1 year and 7 days old. And it's been something, one of the themes kind of I've noticed with my life is that a few of the losses, wins and losses have happened in the month of April, just because of it being kind of a rejuvenating time of the year. So my birthday's in April. Subsequently, losing my father also happened in April. And, in a sense, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, all the good and bad, I could say of it. but I would say probably the best thing is that it did give me this sense of, openness to what's out there, and not just, the what's out there that was being taught at the time. Like I said, I moved to kind of small town Florida, and you were expected to toe the line of the local, religion there. And not to say like I absolutely love, the people and love, the space there, but there's a lot of, good and bad that you find just, we live next door to a church. There's a lot of good and bad that you find just being the next door neighbor, kind of sitting there looking over like, oh, okay. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of the scene from Wizard of Oz where, you go and you see behind the curtain. It's kind of what you get to see just being the neighbor, just because you can see everything that happens. And, I think also, it just opened me up to the idea of, hey, there's going to be a connection not only with, your religion, but also with, spirits and other things out there. So, it really did kind of, give me kind of a wide open stance, I think, just to be, curious about these things when young.
Right.
And, and I think also, it helped to kind of humbleize me in a sense, just because, it was something where, all right, I knew this, sort of paying key, I guess you'd say, all right, this is how things are going to feel when you do have this, I could read these sorts of things, seeing loss, and, not only with my father, but just, also growing up with that church atmosphere, as a neighbor. What happens at churches? Weddings and funerals. So, right. I got to watch weddings get put together, and I got to watch a lot of funerals get put together. And unfortunately for small towns, more funerals than weddings. So,
right.
Yeah, you got to see human emotion, through every stage of it, with your family members, but also with complete strangers. And it gave me just sort of a, okay, well, this is what's happening with this person, this person kind of needs a hug in a second, in a sense. So
right.
that kind of helped me out, I guess. There.
You get very in tune. I always tell people, so when I do my readings and I'm connecting with a past loved one, I always tell people when I read them, you're going to see me, I'm not going to have a lot of emotion when I speak to them, or, and even though you may cry, I'm not going to have that emotion. And I tell them, and it's not that I don't feel those feelings, but for me, I have a different perspective when it comes to death. I feel that, if people really knew how beautiful heaven or paradise or the other dimension, whatever you want to call it, how beautiful it is, I don't think people will dwell for too long on losing somebody. I think they will feel like actually happy that this person now is free, and that they are in such a beautiful place where there's no sadness, and there's no all the things that we have to deal with in this world that we live in. So you go into a whole peaceful place. And then I also understand for those that lose people tragically, it's a whole different concept. So it's like, how can people like deal with that? Like, what did you do to like cope with that? Like, is there something that you can recommend people when they lose somebody that they can do to like, feel those feelings? But maybe, some people get deep in depression and they don't ever even get out of there. Some people will go into manic episodes. So how can somebody help themselves to not fall into that? Like, to allow for them to have their feelings, but not get in situations where they're emotionally losing themselves. You know what I mean?
That's a tough one, because really, you almost have to, first off, just realize when you're having these sorts of feelings, having these sorts of episodes. I'm going to go ahead and clarify, I'm not a medical expert, not a doctor, so, great. But, and probably if anything, I am someone who has dealt with it on my own, you know, so I can only speak from that perspective. But, the big thing really is to just, first off, realize when you're having this sort of thing, be it a, depressive bit, a manic bit, anything like that. And second, just know that you can, reach out and grab some sort of, lifeline. Um, and really, it ties into, just a lot of what, we do with everything in our life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have to figure out where we're at so we can figure out where we're going. And, this is, no matter what loss that we've had, no matter what instance, it just becomes a thing of figuring out, okay, I am here. I think I did actually a podcast kind of on this, some time
Mm-hmm.
ago, where I was just like, you have to have your starting point where you're just, okay, let me draw my line in the sand, and this is where I'm at. And
Right.
that's the first thing there, So realizing, all right, yes, I haven't washed myself in a week. I'm probably depressed, or I'm just
Mm-hmm.
spitballing ideas there. But yes, I should probably do these things, or I'm having these sort of feelings or whatever. Realizing that first, and then seeing where you want to go, and with that, becomes an idea of you know finding your team, however that needs to happen. And I say however that needs to happen because that can be your doctors, that can be your spirit guides. Obviously, as
Right.
we are on a conversation here, spirit guides work just as well as it could be what you're putting into yourself. Figuring out,
Right.
hey, am I eating crap? Because if you're eating crap, you're going to feel like crap. Have I drank anything other than water lately? Maybe I should go drink water. A little simple things. And I'm a big
Self-awareness.
fan of, yeah, I'm a big fan of simple self-awareness. I have my
Mm-hmm.
friend Gail and we have a kind of joke running between us where we'll go out and we'll do the cheapest thing imaginable. I've switched to drinking water all the time, and we'll call ourselves environmentalists. And it's kind of just the pun
Yeah.
of, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But also, you know what? Listen, this is just something simple. Good, drink some water. In fact, where's mine? Yeah,
Simplicity.
good, drink some
Simplicity
water.
is great.
Yeah, do what's going to make you, feel better, and get the people around you, and the tools around you that you need, or that are going to make you feel better. Um,
Yeah, for
so yeah,
sure. See, for
yeah.
me and the spiritual work that I do, what I always tell people is like, or what I've done for people before is I have a session where it's kind of like a meditation session. So what I do
Hmm.
is I connect them with their loved one who recently passed. And that, you have to be ready for that. There's a lot of people that come with fears or they're just not really ready for that. So I always tell people, whenever you're ready, you will find the right time to do things. So there's not really a time frame where people should be, expected to just resurface and be all happy about it, happy about life. So definitely it's about taking your, what I do spiritually for people is, so we do like a session where they're get into this meditative state, and then I bring their past loved ones, through their mind, and
Hmm.
they have, I allow them to have a little chat where they're talking to each other, and they're able to say goodbye. So I always tell them, okay, this is your time now. Once we've connected with this person, it's your time now to say whatever you need to say to this person. And they don't have to say it out loud. They can just do it with their mind. And I tell them, whenever you're ready, just let me know that you're ready, and then we'll close this meditation.
Hmm.
And a lot of people have found a lot of healing doing this, because some people never even get the chance to say goodbye. You never get to see them. Something tragically happens, or they pass away and you're far away and you don't really get to be with them those last few minutes or whatever. And so it seems like it really has helped people to just find peace in themselves after doing that. And I think that that's what's really important is if you have lost somebody, that
Hmm.
you can do, even if it's journaling or just talking to somebody. I mean, there's people that do counseling just specifically for people who has lost somebody. And
Hmm.
so doing those things and just having that self-awareness can make that journey not easy, because it's not easy. So, but that's the first word that comes to my mind. A little bit calmer and easier.
Yeah,
Is
definitely,
there anything
definitely.
else you
And
share with us?
it's interesting that you brought up meditation because um, something that I've gotten into. I originally started kind of dabbling in it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
about 8 years ago, but I really, started to focus this in about 2017 is Qigong. This is kind of a moving
Yes.
meditation. Yes,
Yes.
and it's just become an absolute joy of life for me there. Uh, just to kind of give a little bit of background here, 2016 was probably I hate using buzzwords, so I'm just going to go ahead and spit through them anyway. So yeah, 2016 was probably the beginning of a dark night of the soul, mixed with my life being a country song because my dog was shot, and
Oh.
it ended. Yeah, it ended with a few deaths and illnesses of my own. Just a lot of frustration and sorrow built up within me physically. My mom also died that year. Depending on how you want to look at it, the president died that presidency in the
So
country died
both
that
your
year.
parents, both
Yeah, both
both of your
parents are
parents.
now gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Fun fact: both in April. My mom actually a week before my birthday. But just because I love you. I know fun facts there. Um, and for those who are familiar when the birthday is, yeah, R.I.P. Big Man. But one thing is, you know, really after that year, is I had all of this just kind of built up, like, oh, I don't even know if I want to get out of bed, and I went through, kind of went off of medication, got on to, to it was like I can't even take the medication, get out of bed. I went through like all of these just phases, just was not functioning. And
Yeah.
something just said, you know what, Derek, you need to breathe. Go back to your Qigong, videos. And I found this really simple, it was like 8 minutes, Master Leah, who I am pronouncing her name wrong, you
Hmm.
know, 8 minutes
Oops.
of just
Right.
breathing. Yeah, Leah, who? Yeah, I still pronounced it wrong. Please forgive me, Master. But yeah, I found this real simple video of hers, and it just got me out of bed. It just got me off the couch. It really like I had started making the couch into my bed. So it just got me up
Yeah.
in ways that I hadn't really been able to do before. 8 minutes, great. You know, Eight turns into 16, and you add this other movement here, you add this other breath here, and oh, this is something that you can do any time of day. So I can go do this in the afternoon, and it just starts to build there, and it's really one of the things that they say. We all look at the idea of meditation as being something that we see these really strict monks who are doing this for hours, not moving, just, and we think that we
Yeah.
have to go through hours of it. Really,
Right.
you only
You're
have
right.
to meditate for seconds, and you just have to have the seconds add up.
Or even just
And,
a
and
few
really,
minutes.
and yeah, just a few minutes. Minutes. Just let the minutes add up. You know, you don't need hours. Don't start with hours. Start with minutes. If you were
No,
going to start
start
anything
with
else, start with minutes, and that's how you get hours. Okay? Don't go reverse.
people. People always ask me, well, I just can't focus. I can't, I have all these thoughts. And I'm like, well, you're going to have thoughts, and that's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because you're alive. Unless you're
Mm-hmm.
dead, then you don't have any thoughts in your mind. So address them because they mean something. If they're lingering and they're in your subconscious mind, there's a reason why that's happening. They maybe need to be clear out, or you need to address whatever comes to the surface and deal with it in the present life. That's how I take it, at least. I feel that that's, but I think with the practice that you're doing right now, it's just moving that energy throughout your body. That's probably what's creating this experience for you. But
Yeah,
it is
because a
important
lot
to
of
have
it,
self-awareness for things like this. It is very important.
yeah, because a lot of the energy that we end up with this, what they call it chi, is the energy. You end up with this kind of stagnant energy inside of you, and
Right.
this can be. There's a really simple saying that they say in this 8-minute movement. In fact, I just did it today. Uh,
Hmm.
now that I have to
I
say
need
the
to get
thing, what was that?
I need to get into that, especially when I'm in my funkiness. Just the
Yeah, I'll send you.
movements.
I'll actually link the video here, but it's a really simple,
Cool.
simple movements. And there's a statement that she says in there: the internal body becomes dirty from negative chi or negative energy, such as certain foods or emotions that become stuck or held on to. Just as we
Right.
need to shower externally, externally, your internal body needs cleansing as well. So, she does this exercise, the chi shower, and it's just kind of, mimicking a shower through the body, but touching the different meridians, the different points along the lymphatic system, to help just move that energy around you, cleanse that energy around you there. And it's such a great point because obviously we get stuck on these things, what we're taking
We
in,
do.
be the diet,
Mhm.
the, information, all that, but also just how we feel about it. I left 2016, I went through all 5 stages of grief twice that year, and probably I got stuck somewhere between, anger and denial and hurt and all that. Yeah, so that's stagnant energy. That's stagnant chi. For me, it ended up, it became like a giant kidney stone at one point. It became neck pain at one point. It just, I can't move. Yeah. So, I feel, yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta move. And
And well,
really, really
all the
that's what
physical.
happens. Hmm. All
Go
the
ahead.
physicals, build in from these things that happen with us mentally. Yeah, and if we
Well,
don't
and the
take care of
physical
it mentally,
are emotional. If you don't address
mhm,
what's happening, they manifest emotionally, and then it's like double the work later on. But I always tell people, whatever you're going through your life, whatever that may be, a divorce, a death, just anything that creates an impact, an energetic impact in your life, make sure that when you're ready that you address it. I had a mom who brought me her 2 daughters for cleansing while when her and her husband were divorcing. And I remember telling her, this is one of the best things you could have ever done, because they're also dealing with things. That's
mhm,
losing somebody is not just in a physical way when they die and leave this world. Losing somebody could be losing a boyfriend that you're no longer with, a girlfriend, a friend. So
mhm,
loss can be in many different stages and ways. But
yeah,
the problem is that we're not taught how to deal with those feelings. Society conditions us to believe that we're weak if we have feelings, that we're weak for speaking about
mhm,
our feelings, that we're weak
mhm,
for trying to do something to clear those feelings away. And in reality, that's just like poisoning our body and our energy. And then
mhm.
that's when I say these things will manifest physically and emotionally later on, because we never take the time to clear them out. And so,
But yeah,
find,
definitely.
find ways to do it.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And it's great that you brought that up. It's not
Yeah.
just, yeah, I can go on forever. Great, people die, but we also have our losses that we deal with that are, just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They are the divorces, they are the friends that move away, the job changes. For a lot of us, we're adults now. 30, I'm 42 right now. Yeah, hi.
Oh
And
my gosh, you look so.
I should let you guess first. I know. I really should let you guess first. But I'm 42 right now,
Yeah.
and for a lot of us adults, we live on our own. We went from this stage
Mhm.
of we lived with our families and we went to school and we had all these friends around. And even if we didn't really have friends, we still had people around because they were in our classes. So we went from these
Right.
stages of that, and we were in apartments, and kind of tightening it together. And as we grew up, we grew apart. So now, I can name 1,000 friends that I have off the top of my head. I can't name a lot of them in St. Petersburg
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
people moved away and I moved away. This. So, I was actually just talking with an old coworker yesterday about this. We were exchanging texts. Hi, Kevin. And it's like, yeah, as we kind of grow up, we do separate. People get families, so they're off dealing with that thing, and then you divorce from those families. So now,
Mhm.
you might only see the kids half the yeah, we've grown apart. And, this
Right.
society has become one where it does separate us out a bit. And I think these separations can, kind of hinder our health and our, well-being, our lifestyle here. Um,
Mhm.
because it makes us feel like we're alone. It's like, oh, I must be the only person who lost something. Um, so I need to go retreat because I'm the only person, I'm the only person of, out of a relationship today. I'm the only person, who got dumped on February 15th. I did not get
You
dumped on
tend.
February 15th. But you tend to feel
You.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tend to feel
You
that way.
tend to
Like,
feel.
and you tend to just close off yourself, just because we are separated like this. So I think it'd be important, just to kind of build ways where we can all kind of come together, especially as, not spring chicken anymore types, kind of get together and, express that, just let people know, hey, listen, it is good to actually have lost something and, it's okay. You're allowed to hug other people, and this is something I've been kind of open to this idea, mostly because I grew up with the 90s rave scene. So in 90s raves, you were allowed to hug other people, but it was partly because of what was
Right.
going on in 90s raves. Um, but, didn't matter, guys, you are actually allowed to hug other people, you can actually show them that you're
Now.
allowed to cry. It's okay to do
Now.
that. One of my favorite things to do, I shouldn't really say, if I have a musician, if I'm, especially now, if I'm going to see you in concert, yeah, give me a song I'm going to cry to. And I remember I actually had a concert I went to, it was Jade Gray and Mofro, they were playing down here in Janice Live, and my friend Dawn came along with me, and it's like this really beautiful song that they kind of started off with. Just I can't even remember the name of the song by now, but she's like, oh my God, you're crying. I'm like, wait, you're not? Because it was just that emotionally great.
Mhm.
So yeah, it does not matter. You're allowed to have those emotions. Please have them. You're invited to
Yeah.
have them because keeping
Uh,
things bottled up inside is not the answer anymore.
and that's where the problem is that people will store them and they either don't have a support system, but I think we can all find that, even if it's just
Mhm.
going and talking to a counselor. I mean, losing the word loss is such a broad spectrum because, again, you can lose not just a loved one, but just losing something like meaningful, like for a little kid losing a stuffed animal that they love so much, and then the difficulty of getting over that. So we're constantly being put through all these lessons of losing things. I always think there's a greater purpose, regardless of if people agree with me or not, which I am totally okay with that, but there's always a reason why we these things happen to us. We continue to expand and all of this. I think losing somebody in the end makes us more aware of love, of hugging people, of forgiving
Mhm.
people, and making
Mhm.
sure that we're present physically for the people that we love. Wouldn't you agree?
I would definitely agree with that. And really, it's almost something where we almost need to change the definition or change the wording that we use, because
Mhm.
we don't really lose things. You know, one thing I remember, really, the first thought I can remember when my mom, she died in 2016. She passed from cancer. And the first thought that I can really remember, and it was kind of the thought that stuck with me throughout the entire process there that year, it went back to science of all things. It
Mhm.
was, energy, energy cannot be, created or destroyed, it only can be transferred. So, yeah,
Right.
great.
Mhm.
She's here. And every time, I just spent a couple
Really?
days. I went up to Placa just to, deal with some stuff there. And I went by the house, and the azalea bushes are blooming out of control. Azaleas are plants, they bloom, pretty much in late February, March in that area. So, I was like, all right, great, she's here. I got to take some pictures of that. And I actually even, went home. One of the things that I've kind of gotten into over the past year, just in kind of dealing with, things is painting. So I went home and, all right, and I'm not Picasso or anything, but went home and just painted the azaleas,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And, it's that sort of thing where we find ways to still kind of, move on, keep going.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that, the recurring theme I would kind of go with here is just finding that way to, move on. Because, I would say really the people, once they do, once they move on, they don't want you to just sit there and mourn them for the entire time.
Right.
And it's really with whatever, again, whatever loss that is. If you get
Yeah.
divorced, your ex-wife does not want you to just sit there and mourn her. She doesn't want you to just sit in a room with pictures of her like, oh, baby, I miss you. Unless you write it, unless your name is
Right.
Adele and you're writing songs about it, or, Jason Derulo or somebody, unless you're going to write a hit, she does not want to hear about the fact that you miss her. And if you are going to write a hit,
You're right.
then she wants 10% of that hit because you wrote it about her. Actually, she wants 50 because it's your ex-wife. So don't write it. And
That's
don't,
right.
yeah, and it's that sort of simple thing, We,
You're right.
yeah, we spend a lot of time kind of upset about things instead of finding a way to laugh about them. Comedy was
Yeah.
something that I kind of discovered actually after getting divorced, just because, hey, you know what? You can either be sad and mope, or you can smile. You can be happy. You can, find something to be happy about here. Any sort of reason to be happy. So yeah, it's that sort of thing. Really, is finding those outlets where you can turn something into a positive. And it can be anything. Yeah, you don't go to
Yeah.
see your coworkers that you may have been seeing for years anymore, but you know what? You find new coworkers, or you find new challenges. You find new things that you can deal with. Yeah, sure, you had some great experiences in that automobile, and now it's like a twisted piece of rubble. But you know what?
Mhm.
You're alive. You're walking. You can go buy another automobile. You can go have some new experiences. Yes, that dog was wonderful. You shared your heart.
Right.
You can go domestic. Yeah. Yes, you never really, that part of your life ended. That chapter closed, maybe. And, really it's more, not even really a chapter as much as a page, in some respects. That page may have turned. And, now it's just time to write on the, on the new side of the page there. Write more of the adventure. A friend actually, I was speaking with, I'm going to kind of get into this here. A friend of mine, Mandy Romeo, was speaking with him actually about a couple weeks back on this, and he actually gave me a really interesting perspective because a lot of us go through our lives thinking that, and I've done this, thinking that we have to write our book, or at least our chapter of the book, and really it's just, write our book, about our lives, when really it's more like we're, writing ourselves into the chapter. We're giving ourselves, because it
Mhm.
is one conscious book together. that, we all collectively write for this,
Right.
existence here. So, instead of trying to stand out, stand together kind of type of thing. But
Yeah. Makes
yeah, just
sense.
finding a way to move forward with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, is there anything else you want to add to this live session that we have going on right now?
Um, I it's kind of just been a, like I said, like kind of a weird journey. Um, I would probably just say to, keep, stepping on it, keep just moving in it, and, keep your journey to where you just find the simple things really that you can enjoy about it. Find, the simple ways that you can, because, as I said, these are going to be where, those that do, leave your life, they're good, it's what they would want for you.
Absolutely.
Your old whoever,
Yes.
it's what they want for you. It's the path that you should be on. It's the path that you want for yourself, is to move forward. So, yeah, definitely take stock of where you're at and move forward.
Yeah.
And, reach out and get hands. I'm really famous for, hey, please help with something. And, the hands extend both ways. So, if you need my help, please, reach out to me. And if I need your help, I will definitely, yeah, there we go, grasp onto you. But, take that stock of where you're at first off, and then, see where you want to be and move towards that.
That sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
anyways, so like I was saying earlier, I did posted the link to your page, so people can connect
Okay.
with you. What all, how can you help people? What all can you do for people that are maybe not where you live, but they're online and they're coming to connect with you? Like, what all you do? Tell us.
Well, it's kind of because I've just kind of grown into a lot of these, gifts and talents over the past few years, and really have started, putting together this sort of business model, of mine in this past year. What I'm actually looking to do right now, I have a podcast, Shamanic Innovations, that is available
Cool.
on all the major podcast systems. Yeah. And it's just basically kind of me as I go through this journey, um, expressing, what's on my mind and, where I'm at, but also me, being able to go out and help others, with their journey as they start to set up things. A lot of us, we have this idea that we, want to hit the ground, we want to run, and we want to, get our
Mm-hmm.
message out. And what we don't really have is the, wall that we can bounce the idea off of that'll give us back, the feedback that we want on how to get these things done. We don't really have that helping hand. We don't have that other side. So what I'm thinking with the Shamanic Innovations, as I start to move this forward, is a way where I can help other, spiritual businesses and, businesses in general, just to be able to move forward with things. For a lot of us,
Cool.
it's, well, yeah, because one of the things that I've kind of noticed is you're expected to wear, when you start a lot of these things, multiple hats, including ones that you don't really think about wearing at all. There's a meme that I actually saw just recently, and it's a 10-year challenge. And on one part it says 10-year challenge DJ. Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
On the other side, it's 2009. And then on 2019, it's like videographer, graphic designer, road manager, coffee manager, 12 different jobs. Oh yeah, at the bottom, and DJ. And it's a joke, but it's serious. Is that as you start into this sort of thing, you're expected to wear a lot of the different hats as far as being able to promote yourself with social media, knowing what social media is, being able to
That's
just get yourself, yeah, being able to just get yourself out. Hey, how do I share this here multiple places, but not have to go through and share this, thing 3, 4, 5 times? How can I get into this here? So what I was kind of, wanting to do with Shamanic Innovations is that I can, be able to come in and work with other, companies, other, businesses, small businesses, of course, and help them to grow, grow your audience, grow your share as far as, what you want for Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, these things. Grow these sorts of things, grow your network so that you can, concentrate more on what you're doing. A Donnie Spiritual Goddess, readings, you shouldn't have to do readings and do everything else. So
that's what
it's sort of, yeah. So it's that sort of thing where, it becomes, all right, what can I do to help people out there? One of my strong points, I spent 15, 16 years actually in TV news doing video editing. So,
cool.
one of my things is, yeah. So, one of my kind of, fallbacks with that is, hey, I know a good bit about how to get something out and released and, spread around the public, and even, what different things as far as having something catch on virally, but also just putting the content together as far as, creation of the little, snippets and video packages and even audio packages, stuff like that. So it becomes, just a lot of help there, consulting type help, but also, the on-the-ground work type help, that the person would need there. This is what I'm really kind of looking at doing here. And, thank you for sharing the Facebook page. It's, something I'm just kind of constructing here. So, but I did go ahead. I shared all of the links for the, I shared all the links for the podcast along with my Patreon site on there so that, people can check it out.
Awesome. Well, this was cool to do for sure. And next week I'm actually going to be bringing somebody to talk about divine source coding. So he actually works with me and lives like 25 minutes away. So I'm really excited about doing this podcast thing. So anyways, thank you, Derrick, and thank you everyone who stayed and watched the video. And like I said, his link is right here on this post. So if you want to connect with him, please click that and go like his page. So we'll see you guys next time, all right? Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. That was fun.